How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse. We are back with the man, the myth, the legend, Danny Orr, General Manager of Performance Running at New Balance. Today, we are going to be taking a first look at a staple in the New Balance line. We've got the New Balance 1080 v13.
There you go, lucky number 13.
Now, the 1080 has been a staple. It's always known for that luxury, that comfort, that amazing step in. But taking a look at the shoe, it almost seems like we have a new shoe in front of us.
Yeah, and we totally feel that way too. You know, I think one of the things over the last couple of years that, really affected kind of some of our supply chain choices and some of that stuff, what it allowed us to do is really push pause on the 1080 just a little bit, extend the life cycle of the current one, and really dive into like what we wanted runners to get out of the 1080 v13. You know, we often say that as a brand, if we just made one running shoe, this would be it. And we really want to make sure that it's the statement for everything that we do.
Yeah, and taking a look at the shoe, the first thing that stands out is going to be that midsole cushioning. It's almost maybe a little reminiscent to what you see in the More, but it's got its own style. But again, a lot of cushioning underfoot. Can you tell us what's in the midsole?
Yeah, so I think that's probably the biggest changes that have gone on with this shoe, and there's three things that we want to talk about. One, starting with the last, because you always start with the last. So the biggest thing from a last standpoint is that we've updated the rocker profile on this shoe just to make the transition a little bit sweeter and that toe off just a little bit more exceptional. The second piece is that we've added additional stiffness into the forefoot, which has been a critical learning for our team and something that you're going to see across all of the fresh foam models as we get to 23 and 24. A lot of it was birthed out of the data that we're finding from our carbon fiber plated shoes, right, in relation to improved running performance and enhanced running economy. What you'll see with this new 1080 is that this forefoot is 35% stiffer than the previous version, and we're working with Memphis University to validate exactly what that means from an overall running economy standpoint and hopefully a running recovery standpoint. And then the last piece, which I know your consumers love the most, almost in many ways, we've updated the Fresh Foam X foam in this shoe. So what we've got is we've got a little bit lighter, we've gone just a touch softer, and we've elevated the energy return by over 15%.
In Fresh Foam X, you always think about softness. You feel that really nice plush underfoot experience from initial step in and even at mile 20. Is that just going to continue to elevate here with this version?
Oh, the shoe's so sweet, man. The bottom just feels so awesome. You know, when it comes to Fresh Foam and the Fresh Foam X collection of shoes, we're often talking about that 360-degree comfort, as it were. So much of that for the consumer is driven by the bottom unit. We'll talk about the upper, but it's also just so well constructed and so nice and soft. But in terms of like just the general feel of this shoe, we've elevated it 100% with this new version.
Yeah. Now I want to talk a little bit more about that forefoot stiffness, because you don't hear about that much in daily trainers, and you talked about efficiencies, and this isn't necessarily going to be a fast shoe. What are you looking for in a daily trainer in efficiencies, and what is that going to provide a consumer for their daily training needs?
I think running's hard, right? And I think that like anybody from a couch to 10K person to somebody who's running the Boston Marathon, how much they like running is often dictated by their footwear, right? And I think what we're able to give them in this instance, right, is a shoe that hopefully makes running just a little bit easier, right? And I think in a lot of instances, the better job that we can do from a comfort standpoint all the way through to some of the technical details in relation to economy or recovery or all of those things, it's all designed to make that person more comfortable, ideally make running suck less for them, and just in general stay with the sport more.
Yeah. All right, moving on down to the outsole, really the traction and durability for those long miles. Can you tell us about the updates here?
Yeah, so outside of that forefoot stiffness conversation, we've reduced the thickness of the rubber just a little bit to try and bring the weight down, because we know when you're trying to improve upon that performance, weight is a massive factor that everybody's looking for and can ultimately feel on their feet. So going a little bit thinner has helped us reduce some of that weight, but as I said, a lot of what you can see on the bottom here is really designed towards maximizing some of that stiffness over and above where we've been and some of the other shoes in the range.
Yeah. Now, finishing the shoe off, we're going to go into the upper, and when I think about 1080, I think about luxury, I think about just that amazing on-foot experience, and now we've got a new design that looks maybe even more luxurious than ever.
There you go. Not only more luxurious, but cooler as well.
That's right. That's right.
one of the things that we're gonna talk to you guys about over the next 12 months is the notion that this is now getting to the 10th anniversary of Fresh Foam, and it's a pretty big milestone for us. We've probably been here for too long if we've been here for the full life cycle of the shoe. But I think what you'll see from this model to the 880 to some of the shoes coming down the line is that we've really tried to elevate the design language for this season and really make a big statement around that 10-year anniversary, and it's going to start with this 1080. So to your point, really luxurious, really soft, really comfortable, but obviously with zonal kind of structure to it to provide everything that runner needs. But I think we've elevated that visual quite a lot with this shoe. We're excited again for what that means in terms of setting a statement and creating an umbrella for what the rest of the Fresh Foam line is going to look like.
Yeah, the 1080 has been, a favorite for years, but now looking at this version, every part of the shoe is so well thought out, and I think it might just be the best 1080 to date. I'm excited for the people looking to get it on their own feet. When can they have it?
So I feel like it's just around the corner. It's going to be here before you know it, and we're excited about everybody being able to have the experience that we've had creating this shoe.
Yeah.
In the not too distant future.
Well, big things to come from New Balance. If you're looking to get the New Balance 1080 V13 on your own feet, you can find it here at Running Warehouse.